Okay, sir. Am I audible over the web? Yesterday we have. Am I audible over the web, sir? Yeah. So yesterday we have discussed about backends, right? Okay, right. So today I'll try to speak about one more problem around the approach which we have spoken yesterday. Okay. So yesterday, what is that we have said? When multiple users are trying to use the template, it should not allow everyone, but it should allow only one person. Okay. If you don't implement backends, whenever any user executes, state gets stored in his local folder. So that means that we are creating multiple resources, which is not a good idea. Okay. Now, problem with backends. So let us go with yesterday's notes and let me continue on the same image which I've used yesterday. Right, sir. Okay, fine. This was the problem which we have tried to solve yesterday. Now, user one is trying to execute hello TF for dev environment. User two is basically working for QA environment. Okay. So here we are speaking about same template for different environment. Okay. So what this person has something called as dev.tfvars. Okay. And user two has qa.tfvars. Template is same, but they want two different things. Now what should I do? Is this a valid problem? The reason why I write the template is because I want to use the same template for different environments, because that is exactly what I'm trying to deploy. Now, if I try to do this, what would happen is when user is updating dev, it will try to store the state. Okay. And then when user is uploading for QA, it will try to store the state in the same file. So that means for Terraform, if you do this approach, dev and QA are same. Is that what we want? The first thing is, from one template, we should be able to create multiple environments. That is the first problem. And second problem is, when two different users are working on same environment, it should stop users from multiple users from doing it same time. But if two users are using the template for two different environments, it should not stop. User one should be able to work and user two should be able to work in parallel. Yes or no, sir? Yeah, right. Okay. So if we use the backends using same template for managing different environments, will be tricky. Okay. So this is the first one. Okay. When user one tries to update QA, it should not stop. It should not stop user two to update QA environment. So now what is that we are trying to speak? We need one more thing to worry about, which is environments, because from same template. Okay. So all of this goes with the basic idea. The basic idea is to use the same template across environment. One thing which you can tell is, okay, let me do one thing. For dev environment, I'll be basically giving a different backend state file, different uh, state location, and different lock file. For QA, I'll be maintaining a different state file, different lock file, different backend. We can basically work with this. Okay, but the idea is that is not a good idea. Okay, why should you basically have multiple copies of the same thing? Okay, right. So for this, to solve the above problem, okay, let me have this. But is this problem understood to everyone, sir? Yes. So first is, I need to still use backends, but my backend should understand environments. That is the first problem. A user updating backend or a user updating resources in one environment should not stop other users for updating different environments. So how do I do that? The answer to this question lies in Terraform's concept, which is workspaces. Terraform has workspaces. Okay, so let me use the same VPC which we have created yesterday, two machines where we have used the same environment to basically deal with this problem. Okay, right. We can create multiple S3s. I don't want to do that. That is possible. There is no doubt. So for every template, you give a different backend information, then handling it, this will solve. But there is a better way of doing it. That better way is workspaces. Okay, so Terraform workspace. Terraform workspaces. So if you understood the problem, solution makes sense, sir. So are we clear about the problem now? So backend we have introduced because two different users trying to do the same thing, it is creating two different things. We don't want that. We have introduced backend. Now I want backend, but backend should be in such a way that it should block all the users who are updating dev environment. Only one it should allow. QA environment, it should basically have that environmental info also. So what Terraform tries to tell is, okay, you can use any of the backends, that's fine. So you would have a keyword which is called as Terraform dot workspace. Okay, fine. We will basically work with this command line anyway. Okay. Now, what we will try to do is we will try to implement this workspace, and suddenly our Terraform will know about environments also. Okay. So Terraform workspace CLI. So if you try to look into it, Terraform workspace, and then you would have different options around it. If you try to look at usage, you will have different things. Okay. So first let me go into the folders and the machines which we were working yesterday. So I think I was working in, I forgot the folder. 1 minute. Let me go to the yesterday's screenshot. Somewhere I'll find that information. Okay, this is Linux machine and this is, okay, hello TF. Fine. Multi-user. You remember this is what we have written yesterday. Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir. So let me try to basically say Terraform destroy. So I've not created much. I've just created the VPC yesterday. I've asked you to try Azure RM backend. ఏమన్నా ఖాళీ కుదిరిందండి? Okay. So were you free enough to do that? Okay. ఇప్పటి వరకు చేయకపోతే నాకు తెలిసి రాముడు పుట్టినరోజు కన్నా గొప్ప రోజు ఈ మధ్యకాలంలో లేదు. ఇవాళ నుండి చదవటం మొదలెట్టండి. ఓకే, ఫైన్. Okay, sir. Now let me basically execute Terraform workspace, our usual stuff, hyphen help, and Terraform workspace list. All these days, without knowing, we were all working in a workspace which is called as default. Am I clear on this, sir? So ఇన్నాళ్ళు మనం workspace ను వాడుతున్నాం, దాని పేరు default. All these days we have been using a workspace which is called as default workspace. So Terraform by default assumes the current workspace is default. Okay, now okay, sir. Now what we'll try to do is, let's create a workspace called as dev. Okay, so for that the command is terraform workspace new, but I don't know how to use terraform workspace new. So terraform workspace new hyphen help. So I think it is trying to tell that you can give this, and if you want to copy the existing state, you can give your state file into this. But right now we don't have any state file to worry about. So I'm trying to tell that Terraform workspace new. Let me call it as dev. Am I clear on this, sir? Yeah. Okay. So Terraform is trying to tell that I have created and moved you to the workspace called as dev. Terraform workspace list. So out of multiple workspaces, whatever workspace has star, that is what you are currently in. So I'm currently star is around dev. So you are in dev workspace. Okay, sir. Good. Okay. So let me rename this tab. Let me call this as user one. Let me create a new tab, or let me use git bash so that you can have different look and feel also. And let me rename this and let me call it as user two. And yesterday I remember creating one Linux machine. Let me go to that Linux machine. This looks like Git repository. Looks like, maybe, but exactly not. That is not the story. Okay. Now let me go to EC2. This was the machine. So SSH hyphen Ubuntu @ okay, cd Terraform zone. I don't know the folder path. So March 23 multi-user. Okay. March 23 multi-user hello TF. So let me try to basically say Terraform refresh. What will refresh do, sir? So it will try to update your state file based on what is present. Yeah. So currently it says that there is nothing to refresh. If you remember, since we have destroyed there. Okay. Right. Now Terraform workspace list. What is it I have missed? Terraform కొట్టామా అద్భుతం అసలు. So are two environments? Yeah, because there is a state file in the backend. Now Terraform workspace new QA. Right. Okay, sir. Now what I'll try to do is I'll go into this hello TF and then I'll try to create new file which is called as env, and in this env let me try to create dev.tfvars and qa.tfvars. For every environment I'll be having a different variable file. From now on this is our the way which we are going to work on. Okay, so I'm taking entire and then I'm trying to basically take uh, tags, right? So let me try to play around these two variables itself. So provider, and then let me try to write inputs.tf variable CIDR block or CIDR underscore block is also fine. So type is equals to string, default is equals to 192.168.0.0/16. Okay, are we clear on this, sir? Yeah. Now let me try to basically go over here in provider. Okay, and one more thing is region variable region type is equals to string, default is equals to US West 2. I'm not going to change, let it be US West 2 itself, but per environment if I want different region, even that is possible. That was my whole idea. Okay, all right. Now let me go to network, and over here I'll be trying to write var.cadr block. Okay, and let me go to providers, and then let me try to tell that this is var.region. Okay, good. Now let me go to network.tf, and over here let me try to write env is equals to terraform.workspace. If you remember, till few days ago we were always writing env is equals to dev or qa or whatever it is. Now this special variable which is called as terraform.workspace. Okay, are you saying terraform.workspace? It will try to tell you uh, what is or what is the current workspace which you're working on. If I'm on default, it will give default. I have two other workspaces, which is dev and this. Okay. The one more thing which I'll do is Terraform workspace delete default. Ah, Terraform spelling ఎంత తప్పింది రాత్నాను నేను. Can't delete the default state. Okay, fine. Right now we don't have other states, right? Okay, it's okay. Fine then. So let me basically go with this and let me go to dev.tfrs. Region is equals to US West 2. And the other thing is, what was it? CADR underscore block is equals to 192.168.0.0/16. So let me copy the same thing in TF and then here let me give 10.10. Any problem with this? Okay. Now let me also do something called as interpolation. Okay. What is it? Interpolation. So how do you do interpolation? Terraform console. Ah, man. A change in the backend is detected, which is Terraform init. Reconfigure. Okay. Variables might not be used over here. Why? Oh, నేను వాడాల్సింది ఎక్కడ వాడింది ఎక్కడ. So I have to be using that over here, right? So region is equals to var dot region. In backends, you can't use dynamic values. You have to use static values, right? Okay. Now, okay, right. So I've done that. Fine then. Terraform. We have done all of this. dev.tfrs, qa.tfrs, network.tf. Yeah, I wanted to do interpolation. So let me do console. Okay, let me try to show you different ways of doing interpolation. Interpolation, we know that, right? So interpolation, if you remember, was something like this. Okay, let me quickly show you. So let us assume that I have created a variable which is name is Azure, and then I'll be trying to write hello. Okay, now let me change the name from Azure to AWS. I use the same thing. I'll get hello AWS. So here, what is it I'm trying to do? In within the string value, I'm using some dynamic stuff. This is called as interpolation. Now, if I want to do the interpolation over here, so one way of doing it is enter hyphen terraform dot workspace. Right? This is one way of doing it. So you have to use double quotes, and then you have to use that strange looking syntax which is dollar curly braces. Okay. The other way is, if you remember in Terraform we had functions. Okay. So there is one interesting function which is called as format. In format, you can try to write it. This is much like your C kind of notation. So over here, what it tries to tell is try to write format, and in format you try to tell enter hyphen percentage yes, and then to that you pass something called as terraform dot workspace. Let's see. So what you use is your choice. Okay, both will work. Okay, the second one is function based approach. The first one is interpolation. Okay, right. So I'm just showing you both the stuffs. Did you understood what I'm trying to tell, sir? Yeah, right. Now, Okay. Let me try to write it separately. Interpolation in Terraform. Interpolation can be achieved by using format function, or so when I try to write where, anything dynamic over here. Okay. Expression. Okay. So you can use anything which you want. The reason I've asked this is I want to change this. Does it make sense now? Yes. So when I'm creating QA, the tag name will be entire hyphen QA. Dev will be entire hyphen dev. So that by looking at it, I'll be able to make out what is that I'm trying to create. Okay. Good. So let me go over here. Okay. Git add dot git commit hyphen m added changes. Okay. Is it very difficult, sir? We have created workspaces, and then I'm using that workspace variable to make some decisions. Okay. So refer here for changes done. Now let's create dev environment. Okay. So dev environment is generally by user one. So Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is equals to, in the current directory I have something called as env. ఏది env ఏది ఓర్ బాబు. Yeah. Right, sir. I messed it up. So added. All right. Fine, sir. So Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is equals to, in my current directory I have something called as env, and env I'm trying to use dev.tfors. Okay. So before using this command, let us try to consolidate, or let us try to look into what our environment is. So Terraform workspace list. I'm in dev. Yes. Now let me try to apply this. Okay. So while it is working, let me try to do everything, and then let me try to tell Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is, in my current directory I have something which is called as ఇంకా పుష్ చేయలేదు నేను. 1 minute, sir. Just 1 minute. Let me try to look at ls. Yeah, we have env, right? So then what is the problem? Terraform workspace. Okay. List. There are 3 environments and it is at qa. Now Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is equals to, in the current directory I have something which I call as env, and in env I'm having qa dot tf wars. Okay, okay, is it allowing both of them? Yes. So user 1 is also able to work, user 2 is also able to work, because we are speaking about two different environments. Okay, now let me click on yes, and let me click on yes. So here also creation is complete, and here creation is getting completed still. But let me go into AWS services and let me select VPC. Let me go into VPCs. Are you seeing enter hyphen QA and enter hyphen dev? Yes. Right, sir. Now and apply the changes from user 1 and create the QA environment and apply the changes from user 2. Terraform will allow both the users to create in parallel. Okay, that is exactly what has happened over here. Okay, is this better than what we have done yesterday, sir? Yes. So you don't need different folders for handling environment. All you need is different war files. For every environment, define what are the changes in variables that would happen. Okay, right. Now let me try to do this stuff. So Terraform workspace, select QA. Right, sir. Okay, and then let me try to basically make a change saying that I am going to create AWS underscore subnet. Okay, so this I'll be calling it as dummy. Okay, so I'm trying to tell count is equals to 0. Will it create? Count 0 అది create చేస్తుందా? Okay, right, sir. CIDR underscore block is, this is not a very efficient one. So in QA, what was the value which we have? 10.10, right? Okay, so let me try to write 10.10 dot 255.0. This is, let me call it as something called as Bastion subnet. Okay, I need this Bastion subnet only when my workspace is QA. In dev, I don't want it. So the thing which I'll try to write is in Terraform, there is a decent way which is called as Terraform conditional expressions. So is in condition, if the condition is true, whatever is after question mark will become true. If the condition is false, if the condition is returning false, this value will be assigned. Now I am trying to tell that Terraform dot workspace, if it is equivalent to QA, then pass 1, otherwise pass 0. Is it making sense? If the workspace is QA, then only I want it. In all the other things, I don't want it. There is some special case. whatever, for whatever reason which it is. So if I want to create something in based on some conditions, is it possible or not? All you need to do is make use of count. So set the count to 0, which will not create it, and set the count to 1, which will basically create it. Now, okay, okay, right. Used conditional expression for creating a bastion subnet in QA. Refer here for changes and refer here for conditional expressions in Terraform. Now let me go over here and let user 1 try it. User 1 is also in QA now. User 2 is also in QA now. Let me try tell that now the user 1 is trying to apply QA.tfors. Okay. User 2 is also trying to apply. Let us see what happens. Oh my. Sinch slash 25. ఎంత చిరాకు ఉంది చూడండి. Okay, that you can correct in the chain set. Okay. Now, so user 2 is also trying to apply. Did he got the state lock? So backend is behaving exactly like how it used to, as long as environments are same. Now, if I switch the user to dev environment, nothing would happen. So shall we try that? So on the Linux machine, I'm switching environments. Terraform, workspace, select, dev. Now here I'll be changing this to dev.tfors. Now it will not block. So it says that whatever you have asked, there are no changes, it is working. But if I move to QA, it will try to tell that there is a state lock acquired. Okay. Now let me enter. Yes. Are we clear on this, sir? Yes. So how do you handle multiple environments in Terraform from the same template file? Are we clear on this? I've basically taken a very simple example of VPC. Now let it be VPC or a Kubernetes cluster. We can handle multiple environments by using Terraform.workspace folder. Yeah. So if you want to have different values, try to have different variable files. That is different TF wars file. This is how organizations or huge enterprises tries to maintain environment based configurations. Everything will be in Git. Every variable file will be in Git. Okay. So now all you need to do is you just need to pass the variables and then get it. Or you should, in that cases, you will be able to work on multiple environments. Are we clear on this, sir? So now state is still not stored locally. It is stored on the remote file. Okay. So right. Now let us basically go to S3 bucket. So yesterday also we were looking at S3 bucket, if you remember, because we were storing the state there. Okay. So what is the bucket's name? Yeah, Terraform remote backend Qt. Now, are you seeing there is some interesting folder that got created? env. So what are the env environments which I have? Dev and QA. So if you add more environments, there will be the information with respect to this. If you go to the dev, it will store some information with respect to dev over here. Okay. So try to implement this workspace concept also using Azure RM, because it's exactly the same thing. Okay. So what Terraform is doing? Terraform allows multiple environments from one template with workspaces. Right? So are we clear on this, sir? Yes. Okay. Now, if you remember our first DevOps demo class, I would have drawn the boxes saying that, okay, you can use the same stuff for multiple environments. Remember? So once developer submits the code, you build the package. Once you build the package, you basically create different testing environments. So I would have written something like system test environment, performance test environment, UAT environment, and prod. Now all of that are 4 workspaces. ST workspace, PT workspace, UAT workspace, and prod workspace. Are we clear on this? Yeah, good. Sir, yesterday I've seen one strange problem, sir. Do we have different state files for each workspace? Obviously, we'll have different. So let me go over here. Buckets, Terraform buckets. Okay. Yeah. So if you try to, what was the path which we have given? Backend. Okay. Classes dot hello TF. This was the path which you have given. So are you seeing hello TF? There is this class. But in addition to this class, what Terraform also does is it tries to store an information about env, and in env it will try to store the information about your dev, in which it will try to maintain about dev. So whatever you are seeing over here, this one, okay, or this one to be more, this classes, this is default workspace, this env is actually your workspaces. Okay, same thing happens with log files also. So if you go with DynamoDB, right, with same file it cannot achieve everything. Okay, so explore items, Terraform log, sorry, saying env slash qa env slash dev. So whenever you are not seeing a term called as env, that means it is default. That means it is default. Okay. Yeah. Immutable infra and provisioning, right? Okay. I don't think so. We'll have time for that, sir. But we will learn about that tomorrow. But I'll try to show you the strange problem which I'm facing now. Okay. Does the Windows extension in Azure VM support 2 custom scripts execution in Terraform? Suresh, I think we have not gone that far, right? Yeah. Kindly wait for me to finish those stuff. Okay. All right. So that comes under provisioning, whatever you are trying to speak. So I'm not speaking about it until unless I start a topic called as provisioning. Okay, sir. Now let me try to show you some problem. Okay, this problem I'll not be using this workspaces and all of that stuff. I'll try to make it extremely simple. Okay, so let me go over here. Okay, make their problems. Okay, my problem is count problem. Okay, all right. So shall we destroy these things? Terraform. Terraform workspace, select QA. and Terraform destroy. First, let me destroy this. Okay, right, sir. Now let me try to tell you what my problem is. So main.tf. I'm using a provider which is, let me use local provider. This will apply anywhere. Okay, local provider Terraform. సిగ్గు లేకుండా దీన్ని కాపీ చేసేద్దాం అసలు. ఓకే, okay, sir. Okay, and now if you go into this provider, there are not much. There is something called as local files, and then you can create local files over here. Okay, so let me go over here and then copy this. Okay, now let me try to create inputs.tf, and input.tf I am trying to create a variable. Okay, file names. Okay, type is equals to list of string, default is equals to test1.txt and test2.txt and test3.txt. So I want to create three files. That's the basic intention. So how do I write that? I'll try to tell that. Okay, fine. So content is equals to hello, and over here I'll be trying to write count. Count is equals to length of var dot, what is my variable name? File names, right? And over here, when I'm trying to write this part, okay, let me not even worry about what this path is. I don't want to make it too much complicated. So let me try to tell that var dot file names of what was it? Count. I forgot. I was working with ARM templates. I got copy dot index. Terraform count. Index ఎలా అవుతుందో దాని పేరు ఏంటి? Count dot index. Yeah. So just now I was working in ARM templates. There it is copy dot index. Okay, fine. Now anything complicated in that? Okay. Now as usual, let me try to have, okay, dev dot tf vars. So what is my variable? File names. And let me have exactly this as a file. Okay, right. So now let me try to tell that Terraform apply first init. Okay, and then Terraform apply hyphen var hyphen file is dev dot tfs. What is that? I messed up. File names. Okay, so it is trying to tell that it will create three files. I don't have any problem with that, and it has created three files. Yes. Okay, so till here, let me try to add the changes. Added changes to create three files. Okay, good. So now, right, so refer here for the change set which uses count to create free files. Now let's make a small change. The change which I want to make right now is I'll go to dev.tfrs and I'll remove this test2.txt. Is this a very huge change, sir? ఇది పెద్ద అద్భుతమైన చేంజా? No. Okay. Right. So now get add dot get commit -m added change. Okay. Where the second item from list is removed. Now apply to see the plan. Let us see what plan will try to tell now. So what will plan do? It should remove the second file. That's it, right? Yeah. Terraform apply -var-file is dev.tfrs. Let us see what Terraform is trying to tell. I am going to remove second one. I am going to remove first one. And then it is trying to tell that it is going to destroy two items. What is this nonsense? Yeah. రెండు delete చేస్తాం ఏంటి కర్మ ఏంటి? Okay. So if you try to look into it, the first one replaced, second one deleted. So let me try to click on yes. So ideally my plan was it would try to just destroy one thing. But what is Terraform doing, sir? It is adding one and destroying two. That means test3.txt. It is deleting and recreating. Did you understood the problem? So Terraform is deleting test2.txt. There is no, that is desired. And test3.txt also. And then creates test3.txt again to maintain state. ఎంత చిరాగ్గా ఉందండి ఇది. Did you understood the problem? Yeah. Right. So let me click on yes. But after this, if you try to look into it, you will still have test3.txt. But how was test3.txt created? It was deleted and recreated. If you see test1.txt was created at 9:01, but this was created at 9:05. So should we solve this problem? Yes. Okay. Now to solve this problem, we can use for each. So, but unfortunately, somehow I am not understanding how to use that for each statement, sir. So I want your help. Okay. So దయించి నా మీద జాలితో అన్న ఇది ఎలా చేయాలి అన్నది నాకు రేపు చెప్తే బాగుంటుంది. ఓకే. సో exercise, try solving the above problem with for each. Right, sir? Did you understand the problem now? When we use count, yeah, it creates, but this is the problem. So what Terraform tries to tell us, don't use that, use for each. Okay. So రేపటి వరకు నాకు సాయం చేయండి, లేదంటే నేను రాత్రి శుద్ర పూజలు చేస్తాను, నాకు ఆ శక్తులు వచ్చి సాయం చేస్తాయి. ఇప్పుడు మంచి దగ్గర తీసుకున్నా ఏంటి ఏమంటారు దాన్ని, ఒక ప్రేతాత్మ నుండి తీసుకున్నా అన్నది మీరు చేసే పని బట్టి ఉంటుంది సాయం. ఓకే. రైట్ సార్. Okay. Did you understand the problem, sir? Yes. Is this an important problem to understand? Yeah, right. So the solution to that problem, I have told it. I am asking you, look into the documentation and figure out. Then we will try to do that. Today we have looked at two things. One is workspaces. Along with workspaces, we have also looked at interpolation, string interpolation. We have looked at conditional statements. Okay. So how to create resources in some cases and ignore resources in some cases. All you need to do is count, put it to some number or zero based on some condition. Okay. And now we have looked at the problem by using count. So I said that the solution to that is using for each. Figure out how to do that. Okay. Good, sir. ఇవాళకి ఇంతే, right? So tomorrow, once we solve this problem, we will be trying to create virtual machine and doing the provision. Yes. Okay. Okay, sir. Thank you.